loading up. Anything you say, Cam, will be held against you from this point forward. Oh, shit. And they caught me with that one. Here we go. Welcome everybody to who did we lose?
We lost Saskia.
Oh, shit. All right, well, she'll be back. Welcome everybody to the Poetry of Truth, Circle of Love. This is an idea that was conceived by Michael Mejia, and I'm gonna hand it over to you so you can explain that.
Yeah, just a few months ago, I think it was in my dreams. I actually saw some of us together, and there wasn't any language exchange in the dreams, but energetically, I knew that I was experiencing something that was being created. And what I saw was a circle that speaks from the still point. So a circle that was faceless, a circle that would literally speak through the heart of one voice. And when I explored it for a month or so, I talked to a few of you. I talked to Marina. Marina came up with the design. It was artistically inspired through the vision of her heart. And it's a beautiful image where in the middle of the circle, we see the birthing of the Trinity energy, which Morgan talks about a lot, especially in her writings lately. And a lot of us are talking about the movement from duality, the bisection of creating our physical reality through the split in consciousness, and that movement into pure consciousness, where we begin to again access the essence and eyes of what I call eternity, or people call God, the universe. And something that I really admire about each person that's a part of the circle is that we're all really open with how we are still very much in movement, still in the embodiment phase. But I feel like in my personal relationship with each of you, I know that all of us have reached a state of separation with the pain where we've accessed enough of the witness. And so there's just great degrees of accountability, introspection, self-analysis, and showing up. Everyone shows up. And I just think that, I'm grateful to be here and to express. I know that I was going to start with just how much I'm experiencing the eclipse, and I've been in clearing a lot of energy. And I just had a really beautiful experience with Gabriella on Friday. And there were two pieces she read that really I mean, she recited beautiful poetry. She recited Rumi, but two pieces that came that just really stood out to me were I am the word before its utterance. I am the word. We are the word. We are that one spirit. And I know that that's the movement we are all experiencing. We're moving into a state of pure consciousness, initiated and guided by grace. And she also spoke about grace in a really lovely way. And another piece from one of the poems she recited, she said, in your own becoming, there is light enough to take you home. In your own becoming, there is light enough to take you home. So I think, well, just a lot of pain coming up for me personally. I thought I would just express what I'm going through and see what inspires. A lot of pain. And what I've really been exploring, and I've had private conversations with each of you over the course of the last week, is I'm really starting to see the separation between the three minds and the three voices. The Sufis talk about the three voices. You have the lower voice, the deeper voice, and the medial voice. And you could also look at that as the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And when they're bridged, you start experiencing the voice of pure consciousness. And so even I remember I was talking to one of you the other day, and I said, oh, I'm just so tired. I'm so exhausted. I feel like, I've been doing all this work, and sometimes I feel like when I move through a purification phase and I'm crying and I'm in my bed and I'm in so much pain, there's times I get so lost in that pain, and it feels like that pain will never have an end point. And so when I'm lost in that pain, what I'm coming to find is that pain is moving through the voice. So when I say I'm exhausted, that isn't the I of the spirit. That isn't the voice of the deeper mind. That's actually the voice of the lower mind that is dying, that's dissolving. I'm experiencing that death, and I'm experiencing the voice of that death. And when we move through that purification phase, right? We're experiencing the contraction. I know that all of us are experiencing the contraction right now in this portal. And right now, all of our core wounds are coming up. And the lack, the pain, the fear. So I've been trying to witness when I'm having an experience, which mind am I speaking from? Which mind is moving through my throat center, creating words and actions that manifest a reality. And before I pass it over, I think the one thing I would say is that I just think it's so beautiful and courageous and difficult for us all to show up, because I know all of us are clearing, and it doesn't feel good at all, and to Brother Todd, I love you, and you've been a master this week, 25 shows, and honestly, like 1 or 2 shows for me is like really challenging. So I honor you and your ability to be here and to continue to inspire through action. And something Saskia brought up to me, and I thought it was brilliant, was letting the circle be guided intuitively by the spirit. So rather than going in a circle, actually just allowing when the heart's inspired, to allow it to speak. And I think all of us are learning how to be guided by this deeper voice, and we're being intuitively guided, and we're being birthed anew, and we are completely experiencing a new way of being. And so I think it will be beautiful to exercise that throughout this experience. So whoever feels called, just jump in.
I'd like to join in. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you, each of you. Thank you, Michael, for birthing this, and thank you everyone for showing up, and everyone that's watching this now or in the perceived future. Thank you. It's an honor, absolute honor to be here. And your words always are so aligned and synchronous for me, Michael. And I can say on the 29th of November, 2020, I can finally say for the first time in a year, I am feeling whole. I'm feeling peace. I'm feeling aligned. I'm feeling absolutely in myself, my true self. One of the biggest influences on my journey, and I talk about it all of the time, is Conversations with God, those 9 books. And they have been so instrumental in everything, and I always go back to them and hear something new. But I was just saying, when I woke this morning, well, just before, in that stage between waking and sleeping, I told Musa this earlier, I had a conversation as God. For the first time, I could say that there was no separation. It wasn't my higher self. It wasn't channeled. It wasn't something other than me. And it wasn't even a conversation, but I just used that. It was the voice, like you said, one voice. There was no two. There was no receiver and received. It was just one voice. And it spoke as me, as all of us. And it just feels incredibly beautiful to feel this peace again, because from November of 2019, I've been in this process, this death process, truly. So I'm just feeling very grateful, very blessed. And I just feel very much at peace, whereas this whole year and the end of last year has been this continuous death cycle and continuous falling and dropping and attachments falling away and dying and dying. And I was getting to the point where I thought, what more can die? But I just feel that we are at the precipice, we're at the cusp of this one voice that has always been there, guiding us, leading us, speaking as us, not to us. I feel that's where we are as humanity, as we are as a collective. And we've still got all of the stuff that you talked about. We've still got all of the aspects that drown that voice, the aspects that cloud our vision of our true self. And that will continue. But because I am feeling this now, I just want to honor that, because it feels so fresh and it feels completely new. And I was fed up listening to myself talking about all of my woes, and I just want to honor that and just express my gratitude for life itself.
Yeah, so maybe I'll say something. I've heard, as I told Michael a couple of days ago, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to come here and speak, because I've been experiencing this incredible need for stillness for weeks and weeks now. And it's been difficult in the sense that a part of me, the very human me, wanted to speak, wanted to say something, especially being on Facebook, but there was nothing coming. Nothing came, and it was fine. And every time I would just get out of this beautiful field of stillness that was very much present, I would just literally hear a voice, be still. There was no escaping it. It was there all the time, be still. Now, I felt it on a personal level, but very much on a collective level as well. It was incredible, and it remains incredible. It is for me the strongest energy I'm feeling. It is this stillness that humanity has forgotten how to be still. It's not just to be silent, but to be still, which is different. It is, you're still with your entire body, you're still with your energy, you're just present. That's it. And what I've experienced is not so much pain. I've not experienced the purging as such. I've experienced, like Melissa, weird sleeping patterns. But it is mostly just whatever, allowing everything that would come up, whether it didn't matter. The thing is, I didn't even want to label it. Whatever came up, just don't label it, whether it's pain, whether it's where it comes from, what is happening, none of that. It wasn't necessarily. Just drench it with love. Just hold it and drench it with love, no matter what comes, no matter what is felt, no matter if tears come up and it hurts, whether it's my own or it's coming through my daughter, which is mostly the case. No labeling at all, just love it. And not as a concept, don't even start thinking, just hold it like a mother would hold her young baby. Whether the baby's behaving or not behaving, sad or happy, you just love it. You love it and you love it and you love it. And that's all that it takes. And this is basically the energy that I've been personally experiencing so strongly at the moment. Nothing else was necessarily in my case. This is all I feel like doing at the moment. Just really being mindful not to label too much of my experience. Because every time I would start doing that, I diminish the experience itself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just stillness and being gentle and loving whatever comes up, whatever it is, without labeling.
Are we going boy, girl? So, thank you. I don't really know anymore. I know this, like Gabriella, and I probably say this 4 or 5 times a week. I don't know anything. And I think part of the reason for that is because what Saskia is talking about. And it's not just regulated to ourselves. This has been an interesting week this past week. We haven't done 25 shows in several months, maybe even a year. We used to do it at that pace when we first started out. And there was a lot of interesting things that went on, a lot of reflections of this mix of energy as all of us are working through this in our own ways, in our own truths, and nobody's got it. It's interesting, too, what Michael said about the voices, because I think this whole thing about what Saskia is saying about being, somebody was on a show this past week and they said, I'm no longer doing, I'm being. And if you think about that, what is that? That is a thoughtless place. It is that silence, and you're being yourself. And we've had such so much working against us when it comes to being ourselves, because the world and all of its faces has told us that we were not, or we could not be, or there was something wrong with being who we are. I think a big challenge for me and everybody else is not really, there's not really a choice in the matter when it comes to understanding that we are establishing 100% telepathic field. There's a lot of changes and there's a lot of dynamics that come with that are a challenge to the human aspect. but the human is the hero. And if the human cannot hold back, it cannot hold back what's coming. And it's actually here. It's actually here. We're just having fits and spurts trying to adjust to being ourselves. And part of being ourselves, as the universe told me 9 years ago when I was walking the streets, everyone's going to know every fucking thing you've ever done in your life, period. Stop hiding. Okay? And I was like, holy crap. And then I thought, wait a minute, that's going to work for everybody. So there's nothing going to be left out. And everyone's might react like I did and go, oh my God, people are going to know I did this, and they're going to know I thought that, and they're going to know I said this. But that's okay, because we are not only establishing a 100% telepathic field, but it's also a field where there's no forgiveness because there's none necessary, right? It's a field where everybody goes, oh my God, I love you, respect you, honor you, revere you as I do myself. I accept you the way you are, right? I think part of the challenge with Facebook, social media, I think it's a gift. And because it's a place where we can hone and align our ability to be ourselves. And what I'm talking about is the persona that's put out versus who I know that I am. And I can speak, I'm saying this from anybody's standpoint. What am I projecting? What am I displaying? Right? What am I presenting? Now, there's one person in the whole fucking world that knows who I am, and it's that God voice that Martin's talking about. It's me. So if I'm putting something out that's out of alignment, that's got shadow, that's got projection, that's got blame, that's got externalization for love or hate, then what does that tell me? So it's not about what are people thinking about me. It's about what am I thinking about myself? So it's okay. These things are okay. We had some weird stuff happen this past week. We had some projection. I was part of it. You know, we had some open, honest conversations, offline and online. But the bottom line is, I'm not here, and I'm not speaking as Todd. I'm speaking as that voice Martin found that we all have. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here. I'm not even here to ask the question, what do they think about me? I'm here to ask the question, what do I think about myself? And this social media platform is a great place to find that yourself, because you're the one that knows who you are in that space of the voice of God and what you're presenting. And stop damning ourselves, stop condemning ourselves, stop judging ourselves, right? And the only one that matters is me. And that sounds selfish, but it's not. Because if I can hold myself to the highest degree and the highest level of brutal honesty of the soul, then guess what's going to happen? We all know this now. There's a simultaneous reaction. It's the energy that I become, that I am, that we already are, and it's contagious. And Saskia expresses it one way, Martin another, Michael another, Melissa another. I'm soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
I like Saskia, wasn't sure I was going to be showing up. If you asked me yesterday, I said I was done with all of this shit. I said I was done with opening my mouth and saying another thing and going through another thing. And whoever's in charge up there has a very weird way of allowing me to experience what I do. And now I'm laughing because it's all an illusion. At the beginning of the week, sorry, no, my voice is kind of gone because I've been sick the last couple of days. In the beginning of the week, I experienced the capacity to get to know what it feels like to feel how I feel, stay in my lane, hold my center with whatever way I was feeling, sort of like the stillness Saskia spoke about, and also what Todd spoke about equally. And then as the week progressed, oh shit, I got hit with my stuff. And it doesn't matter what my stuff is or your stuff is. When our stuff hits, it hits. Todd, you spoke about the only thing that matters is the self in this process at this point. And I've never heard a truer word spoken, because when chaos consumes your entire existence and you are literally going toe to toe with yourself and you have nowhere to go and nowhere to hide, and everything is asking you to feel all of it, feel your emotions, really embrace your thoughts, really get intimate with your emotions, and not anesthetize them and not push them down and not try and, pacify them, but to really, really go through the most painful, heartbreaking, soul-destroying shit that you could ever imagine, and let it take you to the ground. This is just my perspective, having come through what I have in the last 12 hours, because like Saskia mentioned, I don't sleep anymore. And it's like I orchestrated some sort of epic plan to not sleep so my defenses were down, to get sick over the last 3 days so my defenses were down, to be hit with the most, like I said, heartbreaking situation that I did not see coming, so my defenses were down. And still ask me to hold, just hold, feel my way through it, hold my center, not project out, to look within to see what was coming up for me, because this is my experience. And like Martin also described, many of us are going through this place of attaching, detaching, leaning in, leaning out, trying to walk through into the new while leaving claw marks on the old. And it's the most chaotic feeling within to actually live through. And what I understand about my own personal experience is to go all the way through whatever is coming up for you, so that you can understand at its core what it's trying to gift you, for you. Not to run from it, not to try and run from it. The stillness that Saskia is speaking about is not, for me, it's just to be still, like you said, to be still and know, what, to be still and know my goddamn self, and that I am not anything that is happening to me. I am not my past. I am not my future. I'm not anything other than now. And right now, at the second, everything is okay. And I have no idea what's coming. I don't want to know, because I saw where that tried to take me over the weekend. But I do know one thing. I trust myself. I trust the unfolding. I trust the unknowing. I trust the uncertainty. Because I saw what happened when I tried to resist it. And when I tried to resist it, old versions of me kept creeping up that I know that I am not. And new versions of me kept trying to come in that I know that I'll never achieve, because they are the unattainable. They're perfection, and I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm going to make an epic shite of things every now and again. And some things I'm going to knock out of the park, and whatever comes, let it come. Whatever falls, let it fall. But just my experience of the last week, because it literally went from one extreme to the other, is to know that that's what we do here. That's what we do as humans. And however way we navigate it, that's okay too. I went all the way through with my pain last night. All sorts of magic was created in the last 3 days, and things I wrote, things I experienced, conversations I had with people I adore who were present so that I would remember that I am love and that I'm not the shit that I told myself I was in the middle of the night when my defenses were down. And I just felt that going all the way through it, all the way through it, while anchoring just two words that kept coming in over and over and over again, and they were, I am. That's it. Stabilizing my own energy, stabilizing my own emotions, my own thoughts, my own beliefs, stabilizing my own experiences and not having them piggyback other ones from my past. And let me tell you, they tried to. They tried to. I got to a point yesterday where I really said, I'm done. And then I just held on for, I don't know, one more second. And one more second became one more second because I don't want to feel like that. So I'm not sure where this takes me. I'm not sure where this is going to take any of us. Deep-seated core stuff came up. And I think that, personally speaking, this is just my perspective. I think if we as humanity can get intimate with our core wounds, our core stuff, the deepest things that cause us the most pain, and go all the way through it, despite what history told you, don't you dare feel that pain. Don't you dare go there. Don't you allow that to hit you because it will take you down and you will die. Just to go all the way through. Do the opposite of what you were taught, what you learned, what you know. Go all the way through. Because honestly, for me right now, what's out the other side of that is just everything. It's just everything. Stay, hold, feel, anchor. That's it.
One breath at a time.
Yeah, that's it.
When I shared this a couple of days ago, one of the ways I see how I'm clearing is I'll actually see the image of the person that comes up. And so a few nights ago, I saw a few people coming to my mind, and as those images came to my mind, I felt the energy that was dormant start expanding inside of my body. So it wasn't new energy, it was just energy resurfacing. And I know that a lot of what I clear is in the dream state. And so I had told Israel, like, he could just see that, like, the energy start taking over. And well, through feeling, he felt me. And I just said, I have a lot to clear right now. And so I think I'm just going to go to sleep and just be with it in dream state. And then he was like, well, what are you experiencing? What's some of what you're feeling? And then I just named off some of the experiences that were coming up through images and through emotion. And I said, I just feel like I have hurt feelings because it was surrounded around abandonment. And when I went to lay down, I went on my phone for a second. I follow like a few different sites that are just beautiful quotes. And so I was going to just look at a quote before I went to sleep. And the quote I looked at was an Eckhart Tolle quote. And he said, only the ego can have hurt feelings. So I had literally just told Israel when I was experiencing this pain surface and I knew it was going to go clear that I had hurt feelings. And then as I'm about to go to sleep, I see only the ego can have hurt feelings. So then I immediately wanted to explore that. What is the ego? I think it's been stigmatized and unconsciously demonized by itself, by its very own energy, when really in its holy nature, because every aspect that we've experienced is holy. It is sacred. So the collection and conceptualization of thought and the assimilation and holding of emotion, that stagnancy was meant to create a noble reality where the God self, or whatever word you want to use, whatever spiritual synonym resonates, because ultimately it's not about Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, nothingness, pure consciousness, ego bisection. What we're experiencing is a movement where essence is expanding. It's wordless. So when you move beyond words, we're just trying to dance with words to feel an inner expression of pure energy or fragmented energy. And so what I realized is, and that's going back to what I talked about earlier, was understanding the three voices. And again, plug in whatever words are comfortable. Is that voice the voice of your pain? Right? So when I say I have hurt feelings, it's actually the bisection of pain saying, I'm hurting because pain is pain. Pain feels pain. Right? The soul wants to experience beyond pain. It wants to experience the expansion of moving back into unison with the essence or the spirit. So in laying down and going back to what everyone's said beautifully is that honoring and that feeling of every fractal aspect that's presenting itself, and then knowing when we're slipping in and out of judgment, right? I know I've used this quote before, but it's timeless, and I think it's a quote that is appropriate, and its truth is something we all need to understand, which is Rumi, out there beyond wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. That field of awareness in its infinite form, there is a complete dissolving of judgment, because we see what Melissa, Saskia, Martin, Todd have all said. And someone wrote a beautiful comment on here. I think it was Dawn, said that there's only us. And Morgan was talking about this to me recently, that if we're experiencing something, because everything in the macro collective outside of us, in the external, is literally a reflection of us, then something in our field is clearing. Something in our field is calling this experience into manifestation. And when we start to not understand that through the fragmented aspects of conditioned thinking, but actually through feeling and knowing that you just called this experience into your reality, you also start to see that the mirror's bilateral. And what that means is that there's something in the field of this form and something in the field of that form that wants to find balance. And that form and this form neither rest on the hierarchy, because that is of fragmented perception through pain and ego, but both are holy expressions of the one. And both, right, through this unthinkable nobility, are calling each other in a sacred dance to purify. Both are calling the fire of their inner, most powerful, eternal heart to clear the energy that's stuck within each field. And the gift of the mirror, I always say, is the power of the reflection of two becoming one. So what I've started to see within my own reality, and especially after I had a beautiful talk with Melissa, Saskia, Martin, and Melissa, Todd, Israel, and Morgan, and exploring the nature of what's happening right now, is that all of us are experiencing a renewal. And if you're having an experience, and I'm speaking for myself because these have been my experiences, if you're having an experience where an aspect of you has been subjugated and there's a mirroring, if in your mind you conceptualize, oh, this mirror's here to free me, and that mirror like is just horrible and a bad person, and their lesson is to learn that they're a bad person, and my lesson is to free my voice a little bit more, right? It's in understanding, like with what Martin was saying, like as that voice starts to expand, to truly see two gods, two inner gods that are one in a sacred contract, to wake each other up from the deepest slumber that was created through such a length of time and space, where we have experienced unthinkable realities, and we've experienced ourselves as everything, and now all of that's being neutralized. So I think that what I feel like I'm experiencing just on my own, just through the exploration of myself and speaking only for myself, is that now, just over the last 24 hours, because this isn't where I was a few days ago, not even 48 hours ago, is starting to see that every time something's mirrored, it's there because I have more pain to process. And if there's any resistance, it's not coming from the spirit, because the spirit is actually calling everything into form. It's coming from the pain itself. So in honoring the thoughts and emotions, honoring all emotions, yes, we're human, honor every emotion, honor every thought. But like one of my dear friends, who is a beautiful receptor for deep wisdom, he says, pain is meant to be felt, not followed. Or like I have Israel here. Pain is meant to be felt, not obeyed. So it's courageous to experience pain. We all came in and we're experiencing pain. But the evolution of pain is to feel it so deeply and realize that it's transforming, that we no longer take that pain and create a sword, but instead we feel that pain until it turns into the lotus, which is what Gabrielle was speaking to. And so for me, it's a deep honor to be with all of you, and every single one of you. This last week has been a part of my healing, my expansion, and holding my heart through contraction. I'm still learning. I have a lot to learn. I'm still growing. I have a lot of pain to still process. And it's funny because I've heard each one of you say you guys weren't going to come today, and I was feeling that way. I was like, I don't think I'm going to go today. So if we would have all told each other that, none of us would have been here. But I think it's beautiful that we all showed up.
I'm really feeling in alignment with the circle, this completion that is happening, and like in a circle, there's no end, there's no beginning. A completion is just ever concentric, ever inner expanding and outer expanding concentric circles, but there's no beginning, there's no end. And the beginning of my journey was very much in the path of self-realization. And Eckhart Tolle, the teaching, like Ramana Maharshi, Muji, those types of teachings. And I fell into multidimensionality. I fell into channeling, extraterrestrial, all of that stuff. I kind of fell into it without ever having any inkling or awareness, actually active resistance to it. And what I'm hearing from each of you here, and this is something that I feel, and I know this is something Soulagy and Todd wants to bring, is bringing apparent separate paths, apparent camps, and bringing them back into the truth of oneness, of unity. And I hear in each of your voices, in your beautiful, unique, amazing ways, I see this marriage again of this path of what I believe is the ultimate path, is the path of self-realization, recognizing our truth and our multidimensionality and our humanness, all coming in this unique, beautiful package called Todd, called Melissa, called Michael, called Morgan, called Saskia. All of these packages beautifully presented in the present in a way that those who witness are able to see a part of themselves. And it's bringing these paths all together in one space. And it's not, this is my path and that's my path. It's there actually is no path and there's nowhere to go. But we can wear the clothes, we can don the hat that we choose, and each of us and everyone watching and everyone and everything in existence is this unique aspect of the one looking back upon itself. And it's a joy to witness, and it's an honor to be here so that we offer this for other paths maybe that weren't mentioned, that maybe feel individualized, or this is the right path. There is no, and when I said the ultimate path, even those words don't do justice. It's what I'm saying is that all of creation is so unique, and it's got its uniqueness through you, every single one, and it has its nuances and its laughter and its seriousness and its sincereness through you. So every time you drop, every tear that's dropped, every moment of ecstasy, of elation, it's uniquely you. And it's Goddess looking back upon herself through your eyes, through your hands, through your body, through your awareness. And there is no other. And you is all that is. You is the I. There is only that which is. And we can enjoy the fullness of this banquet of experience in multiple bodies, in multiple realities. But what is so delicious to hear in each of your unique ways is this core of unity, this core of purity. Doesn't always look like that. It's messy. It's messy on the surface, but on the core of everything that's shared here, it's the truth. It's that ineffable, unspeakable, unnameable, birthless, deathless field of being, which allows the story of us to be, allows the world, the universe, the form to be. And as we marry and merge not only the masculine and feminine within, which is the ultimate polarity, but we merge and marry all of these apparent separate pathways, and we become whole in experience through these interactions, through communities like this and through the introspection that's allowed by silent and still listening and being in a space like this. So it's a true honor and a celebration. And for once, I was definitely coming. If you'd asked me every one of the days before this in the last year, I'd have been saying no. But I'm going to keep on that, because I've been continuously in that space, and I'm just going to milk every bit of this today. I could be completely different in 10 seconds, but I'm milking every bit of it, because it's sweet, and it has been waited for. So.
Yeah, Brother Martin, you're making me feel like Gabriella made me feel. You're just like a light bulb right now.
Angel. She's literally an angel. Wow, that was an experience.
I'm finding it really hard to speak at the moment. Really, I'm feeling incredible energies here going. My heart is enormous. It's like a black hole, and it is so. Words are diminishing everything, and I can only feel right now. I find it difficult to speak, which is difficult on a show.
Well,
so for now, I'll pass.
We honor that. Couple things. There's I don't know if this beloved sister is still in the house, Trina Jake Kaulani Apostadero. And I was watching her comments at the very beginning. She went into as the first round was going around, she was saying, I went through this last month when I was put in the hospital with COVID and I almost died. And so there's a lot to be said for a statement like that. But the energetics behind what she was writing about, I'm going to read a little piece right now that she wrote, is exactly what we're talking about. But she went through it in a very physical, and it's going through it in a very physical way. That's another thing. Everybody does this differently. I woke up yesterday morning and I felt like I'd been violated. And the strange thing was that, you ever wake up and you feel like you've been beat up? Later on in the day, I realized it was from the inside out. Mm-hmm. So this is really interesting what you said. You said, I went immediately into self-healing each day and night to raise my vibration. So this is a conscious intention through what I chose to eat in the hospital and what I thought as each day, minute to minute, the words I chose to speak about, the nature of my health, how I shared that journey with others via social media. Every day she was doing video, evidently. She said earlier, using it to light up others by bringing love and hope that if I can survive and push through the most scariest time of my life, then it brings hope to others. Learning to trust my spirit team and my innermost power to self-heal. That was one thing. And Trina, if you want to come on Soul Speaks 5D, but please send me a message. And thank you for sharing your experience. Pain. Think of all the beauty that pain has produced. I struggled. Once I met Morgan, let me clarify this. As I started to experience the frequency of abundance, of love, and all the things that this relationship brought to my life, I had a hard time writing poetry because the poetry was always rooted in the pain. Yep. I wrote beautiful poetry, and I'm not afraid to say that. Those 2 years on the street and a couple of years after. But it was the pain where I went to the pain. It was like the cauldron in the core of my soul, and I mixed that shit up, and the flame went higher, and then boom, alchemy. Now I've been able to write professions and declarations of love that have been just as powerful. But it was the contrast and the experience of the pain that allowed me to reach these expressions in regard to the physical manifestation of pure love in my life, right? So pain, you know, I listen to Michael, I listen to Gabrielle, I listen to others, and of course I just told you my experience, but I haven't been there as much. So I would look and I would listen, and I'm going to be honest with you, I would wince a little bit and I'd say, man, when are we going to get out of this pain thing? But I understand, as listening to Trina, listening to Michael, listening to other people, that there's not a linear aspect to this thing. Morgan, in her close circle this past week, and people that we know, went through amazingly similar situations, to include major punches in the stomach or shots, you know, like energy into the stomach, into the gut. Like they were talking about the same thing. It wasn't just about the narrative of what occurred to them in terms of their understanding and how they can see, you know, how that all processed. It was a physical thing too. And she said, I wonder if you're going to get it next. And I said, I don't know. I just don't feel it. I haven't been feeling it. I've watched, and this doesn't say anything about I'm in a place that other people aren't. It ain't like that. But going back to the first 2 years when I was on the street, now you got to understand something. I walked literally, I don't just say this, I walked miles and miles every single day for a lot of reasons. And that was to maintain my sanity, to get my health back. This was like Trina in the hospital. It was a conscious intention, bloodied, shadowed, unconscious programming, blind spots, trauma, hearts broken, the whole 9 yards. But in that process, I developed a constant communion. And that conscious communion quickly led to don't blame others, don't lie to yourself, and don't make excuses for yourself. And I started examining, I started examining my conversations in real time, and I started to listen to myself and go, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? What does that say about you? And slowly it came down to where I understood this is my responsibility. It's my responsibility. It's not anything external, no matter what it looks like and no matter how gruesome the story is, right? It's my responsibility. It's nobody else. Nobody. Not your partner, nobody. And that's something that when it occurred, I had to let go of everything. My children, my honor, my reputation, my freedom. I was way past the point of embarrassment. And this was a group effort that I arranged in my life where I was totally stripped buck naked in the most humiliating way. And I had to eat that humble pie. And so I'm seeing this happen now. People used to say to me, including Morgan, man, you did it the hard way. You didn't have to do it that way. Well, that's the way I chose to do it. And now there's a little bit of consolation for me because maybe I can hold space for others as I see this happening, because it's happening. And you were talking earlier, Melissa, it came back and you dealt with it. And this is the process. And this is what's happening to me. This is the way I see it. It's just my opinion. But if you don't deal with it, it's coming back. It's going to get louder and it's going to hurt more. And hurt is hurt. And it's one thing to hurt and it's another thing to project and hurt. So this is, again, we all showed up. I catch myself talking about people and I say to myself, that's an externalization. There is no perfect path. We are creating these templates. We are creating this new way of living, this new lifestyle. And we're working our way through it. We don't need to judge ourselves, condemn ourselves, and damn ourselves. But we can have this brutal, honest talk with ourselves. So I look at back to the streets in a situation where there was a myriad of energies coming at me that I created, which I didn't fully understand at the time, but somehow I knew. And I would say to myself, who do you despise the most? Who pisses you off the most? Who effed with you, effed with your family, whatever the story was. Where's the energy that hurts the most? And that's where I started. And I got up on the horse, and I got my ass knocked off, and I got up again. I got my ass knocked off with, say, one person over and over and over. I took a step forward. I got slammed. But I had to I had to initiate. I had to go and say, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. And I had to get past that thing about, oh, they didn't say they were sorry. You know, I had to get past all these programs. So what do I despise? What do I not like? What pisses me off? Who is it? What is it? And that's where I learned to start when I was on the street. I met Morgan. I found more easier ways to do it than I had done it in my caveman mentality. And then I found too that these processes, I was able to naturally, there was an organic acceleration of the process, and it was more of a quantum conversion and alchemic process, but still it's the same thing. It works the same way. It is the same thing. And it is the brutal honesty of the soul, where you remove everything outside of yourself and you take full responsibility for every single thing. And it is a work in process. One last thing. There's so many memories come back in situations like this. And I didn't even realize this until a few minutes ago. But this started for me in about 1992 or 93. So I would have been about 30, 31 years old. And I started chanting. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was reading a lot of books and stuff, but I started chanting every afternoon. And it just came out. And I guess I was meditating. I was in dimension. I didn't know all those details. And I watched my life transform, like, very quickly. Not with making a list of goals and all that shit. I mean, just plugging in, because the universe, me, knows what I want, right? I mean, so it came back to me that the truth is not spoken. You see these shows like this, and you see people come on, and you see these beautiful souls come on who've never been on before, who are shaking in their boots, and even those that have been on there are still shaking in their boots. You see people instructing. You see people doing different expressions, having different conversations, but it's never the words. It's never the words. The truth is not spoken. It's not. Now, we are talking, and we're going to talk. And the voice chakra, the throat chakra is essential, because it is a convergence of physical and non-physical properties that we all are expanding. It's part of the gift of the gift that we're giving to this universe. So the truth is not spoken here. This is what used to happen to me. And I'm going to share it with you. It's not something I like doing. My human's going, don't fucking do this. But this is what would happen to me. It's happened many times. It happened many times on the street. I just wasn't aware of it until a few minutes ago, how often I did it. I call it like an ancient voice, a sacred song. Let me get this right. This is the pain speaking. It's a praise to the mother. It's love and devotion. It's for myself. It's for the universe. It's for the mother. It's for the father. It's for all that have walked before us and all that come from behind us. It is soul. And the truth is not spoken. Thank you.
Sorry, go on. You're going to say something?
Do you want to speak, Sister Melissa?
I don't know. I was going to say thank you to Todd for that expression. I love the way we experience things so similarly and deliver it so differently. No mud, no lotus. And it's in the depths of our darkest, murkiest, shittiest shit that we uncover aspects of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. I happen to experience what you spoke of, Todd, when it comes to feeling the energy of aspects of myself fragmented. And there's no words to explain this. It's the equivalent of being physically punched into the tummy. It's the experience of having your heart ripped clean out from your chest when there is no one or thing near you. And in the depths of that, with nowhere to go but in, what I experienced or understood was shown with regards to pain in the shape and form this week of grief. In a place of stillness and allowance, that what actually happened was it was layer upon layer upon layer of age-old grief, age-old pain, age-old suffering. So what was presented to me as an experience was so multi-layered that I had no idea. And still I'm in awe of where it actually took me to find my center in the last 24 hours. I don't think we realize the depth of our capacity to feel, or our capacity to hold, or our capacity to experience both the pain of what we are and more than the love of what we are. How do I even say this? Age old. It's just age old stuff. It's not one thing. And I think this is where people are struggling or possibly suffering or trying to get their head around at the moment. A situation may present itself to you in the shape and form of a person, a situation, a thing that's trying to show you and lead you back to you, but is loaded with the history of the ages. And if you can find something to help you to meet that, to unpackage that, to sit in that shitty water, knowing that you are the shitty water and the lotus at the same time, then that's where the magic happens. Yeah.
I wanted to speak to an observation that I've had throughout this experience, and it's, Sister Morgan's a huge part of this circle, and she's not on the screen right now, but I feel her presence. And what's really speaking to me about the circle and what I felt and saw in the vision of us all coming together is that everything is true. Right now, I see Saskia holding the point of silence, sacred silence, through the filter of witness. I just experienced Todd and Melissa express the point of pain through the wisdom of the witness. Martin has been expressing the point of peace through witness. And what I feel with Sister Morgan is she's holding the space and the honoring that there are times that we access our power and anchor in the utter silence of the womb. And that is just as sacred, and that honoring is just as sacred. And she's doing that through witness. So I'm just watching every single one of us showing transformation from different points. But I do feel the expression of the witness, right? The witness where there is that point of separation, where we're moving through the womb. And Todd spoke a few minutes ago about that experience of feeling kicked in the stomach, and that is an experience I had recently, and I had been going through, and something that started coming to me through feeling, through exploration, and through sharing with some of my dearest friends, which are you guys, and Morgan, who's, like I said, with us in heart right now. But something that came to me is all of us have been the victim, right? And all of us have been victimized, and all of us have been the villain within this story or this dream world. And again, we can use whatever words feel comfortable, but what I'm seeing in the equilibrium of myself, the collective, as we see this great chasm play out, where there's this huge divide and all the polarity is just miasmatic, and it's like a big cloud, a cloud that's really coming from inside of us, that's been covering our heart as we've journeyed through this holy dichotomy that we so chose as one. And now that we're moving through this, what we're seeing is within every role, we have been it all, we're it all right now in this moment, but to be transformed is the death of both roles in the mirror. And the paradox is to hold it all in reverence. And if we've reached a space of enough heart to observe it, right? And I feel that what we see happening is that all those roles of victimizer, victimized, right, are playing out right now. And in any one moment, if we are one, we are the other, because like Todd said to me weeks ago, which I've been using this quote daily, is at any point, if you are othering, you are the point of separation being experienced in the universe. So when we start to see that and feel that, allowing the honoring. So if for some of us who've been experiencing the mirror as the victim, we're unlocking the power of the voice, right? And if you're experiencing the mirror as you are the victimizer, victimizing, you're unlocking the power of the voice. One voice is meant to rise up and say all the things it never said as the victimizer. And the other voice is rising up to say, I'm hurting others because I feel so hurt and broken. That point of separation is being experienced in the mirror, reflecting bilaterally, both forms, because both forms are calling each other in, because our deepest longing is to be whole. And I just want to say that this is in closing for me personally. I just want to say that I honor all aspects of all of you that have shown up. And I honor the aspect of Morgan, who has helped me uncover a lot this week. And she has been a sacred messenger for me, as are all of you. I honor the way each of you showed up. She showed up too. She's here. And you're all teaching us something through following that inner voice. And it's just one of the greatest honors to be journeying with people who are committed to finding the deepest love that lives within. Yeah. I love you guys.
I'd just like to again express gratitude, my gratitude to life itself in all its beautiful manifestations, in each of you, in each of the beings that are co-creating this and are in the unseen. That it's just a great gift and joy to be alive as life itself. And my son has been giving me messages continuously as we've been here, and the most simple message that he's been giving me, and he's been giving me before he came into this body, is to not forget about the joy, not forget about the fun, not forget about the silliness, the playfulness, the childlike aspect of ourselves. Because that part of ourselves never goes away. It's always there. It's always available. And the little children and the animals and even nature is just encouraging us to explore all of the facets of our experience and not take it too seriously. Especially don't take ourself and our story and our experiences too seriously. Honor them, feel them, express them beautifully, create with them, but don't put the fullness of your being in one aspect. Who you are cannot be contained. Who you are cannot be defined. Who you are can never be limited. Who you are is in the play and in the tears. Who you are is in the fear and the laughter. Who you are always is. So play, sing, dance, cry, create, fall, rise, all of the above and all within. Thank you, everyone.
There is unspeakable love and unspeakable beauty coming through all of you and all of us at this moment in time, through everything that is coming forth through us, everything we're experiencing, feeling, recognizing in ourselves and in others, but others are not what really matters. It is being aware. It's like you mentioned earlier, Todd, is the importance of self-awareness. That is everything right now. And I think when we get to this point of truly remaining in this constant space of self-awareness, then everything falls away. There is no need for forgiveness. There is no need for any labeling or any judgment, any of it. It is just the pure recognition of absolute, and I can only say unspeakable love that has brought us to be here at this moment in time, all of us, whether we're aware of it or not. But the sheer fact that we are here now is, if we only had the grand vision to truly see and recognize what has brought us to be here at this moment, we have no clue. We do not understand, and we get glimpses, and they're magnificent glimpses, but we are extraordinary beings of beauty and of unconditional, truly unconditional love right here. And whatever we are experiencing through ourselves, with ourselves, we're inserting into the field, making it available for everyone, which is what we're doing by being raw and authentic and walking our talk, speaking, living from the heart. We are making it all available to everyone on the planet now. All of us, in any way we wish to do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if we're very spiritual or not. It doesn't. We're here. That's all. And I'm in awe. I'm in awe at everything that's happening, whatever it is. And I thank you. I thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. We watched an incredible movie last night. The hell's it called? Don't ask me. Oh, Mr. Nobody. It's unbelievable. I'm not going to get into it, but we had many downloads, powerful downloads during this movie. We talked about it afterwards. And one of the things that came out for me was this realm is built on the power of suggestion. You can talk about the archons and the fourth dimensional nefarious energies and how it was constructed by the master architects that we are. These beings or these energetic forces that cannot manifest but can only distort. And it's all done through the power of suggestion. And that's not a bad thing. Okay? As I'm watching this movie, we're flipping it now. We're conscious creators. And we think that the traumas and the times we were victimized and the inequalities and the unfairnesses and the injustices and all that is what needs to be solved. I don't think so. I think we've gone quantum. I think it's the thoughts that come in our head. Oh, my stomach's getting big. Oh, my hair's getting gray and falling out. Oh, this person did that. This person is that. Stop the motherfucker right there. Right there. Stop it in its track, one by one, like they told me 9 years ago. Slay every one of those demons. That's what they told me. Slay them all. They were not outside of me. This is the origin of my pain. This is the dialogue of my pain. Like riding a bicycle, it's second nature. But now we can stop it. Time is not a factor. You grab it. You bring it back. And you say, thank you, but this dance is over. I'm going to convert you. I'm a fucking alchemist magician. I'm going to convert you into the springboard of not the pure love I walked into these incarnations with, but the new one. This is what we're doing. And the human is the fucking hero, because the human accentuates the Akashic like it's never been accentuated before. We're going from the shit house to the penthouse, and we're taking the universe with us. Now, sorry, I saw this meme. I mentioned it 2 or 3 times. It could be said a lot of different ways, and you can replace the main words. But the shadow of the empath is the narcissist. And the higher self of the narcissist is the empath. I am a fucking narcissist, and I am an empath. But I represent that field that Rumi and Michael talks about. I represent the 0 point, Morgan calls it. I call it the soul highway. Doesn't matter. Like Saskia said, labels don't mean shit. The more we talk, the more we fuck it up. Excuse my F-bombs, but what you see is what you get. And that's my point. Let's not hide anything. You know, we spend our time trying to present something outside of ourselves when we haven't rectified it within ourselves. So let me be me with me. And I don't even have to think about presenting anything to anyone else, because the truth is not spoken. And last thing, Morgan is here. I'm not saying this from a biased standpoint. She's not in the womb. She is the womb. And what I mean by that is, no labels. Each one of us has certain proclivities energetically, certain functions in the full body collective. We represent certain things. Now, are we accessible and do we contain it all? Yes. But in this transition we call ascension, there are roles. And every one of those roles is challenged, because as the human aspect works out the new template. This is the friction. This is the whetstone that we sharpen our soul on. The pain is beautiful. I'm going to share something with you. This is something that's similar to what I used to say to myself as I walked. No matter who I am, no matter who I think I am, no matter what I think is unique to me, I am nothing. And from there, I am everything. And I contain everything. I am the conduit of the divine. You are the conduit of the divine. I am soul and you are soul. I am you and you are me. And I can't remember the rest, but that's my stabilization mantra. When you write from the streets a prolific, beautiful poem written out of pain, and you get 75 likes, or whatever, that's where I go back to, I am nothing. And you can't just say something like that. Yeah. So I'm very honored to be here. This is the epitome of what I consider Soulogy. And Soulogy is, to me, just another name for the Holy Spirit. It's anchored in divine love, a masculine and feminine divine union. There are physical representations of that all over the place. Couples, individuals, and so on. But it's spontaneous, it's intuitive, it's creative, it's imaginative, and depending on what we're saying or doing, it takes fucking courage. So this is a reflection of the entirety in this realm, because every single person, with all the truths they know and the doubts that they have, showed up. It's not a debate. It's not an argument. It's not a contest. And I think Saskia said it best, which it's called life. Life. Life living, as in living. I am living. I am life. I am God. I am soul. I am Todd. And as far as I know, I'm only going to be Todd one time. So I want to make it good. right? Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you, Morgan, for holding space and being in my life. I love you, Morgan Lee. You are the reason I get up every day. And I can tell you all this very honestly. Even when I didn't know her at a conscious level, I got up every fucking day, every video, hungover, shirtless, wild ass, raising hell. But I was coming from the heart and I was looking for her. And this is the root of creation. I'm just a physical representation, but that's how it works. That masculine energy loves what created him. And in that process, new creations are made, new universes, new planets, new lives, new possibilities. And this is what we're doing. And we're doing it at the densest level. So hats off to everybody. I love you all very, very much. And I thank you for your courage and your wisdom and your love and for lighting me up today. Because I was going to have not a difficult day. I would have probably just chopped wood and carry water, work on cleaning the bus out or straightening up this office. But I'm lit now. So, my God, if you get a report from Van Buren, Arkansas, that some crazy ass 6'2" Mexican's out in his pajama bottoms and boots on with no shirt on the corner with a sign saying "I am soul," shaking his ass to Tupac with his ears, don't be surprised. I love you all. I love you all.
Oh, no.
Thanks to each and all of you guys here in this container. It's been everything, and I just want to finish by acknowledging and honoring both the mud and the mirrors in my world this week. And the love I have for both is actually indescribable right now. And also for the version of me who I wouldn't do this normally, honestly, who continues to show up, and by showing up, I guess, is a mirror to other people that they know that they can do it too. So what brave fuckers we all are. That's it.
I woke up today. I just thought I'd break it up a little bit. Don't forget to laugh. Don't forget to laugh. Thank you. I'm sorry. I thought this was. No, I'm sorry. I guess you're going to take us out, Michael.
I have no words, just love.
Yeah.
Just grateful. And yeah, just grateful. It was a great experience. And I love you guys. That's it.
Yeah. Till the next time.
Yes, please.
Thank you.